Welcome in for the current episode. I guess it's episode 13, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, episode 13. A couple things have happened this week within gaming. You got Blizzard announcement with Diablo on their expansion. And I'm actually excited for this one. I'll link it in the description below for the trailer. Um I'm actually genuinely excited for that one because it takes the current world of Diablo and goes even further than what we thought, especially with Mephisto and where we left off on. Now, I'm almost certain that if they do this right, it'll not only cater to the current player base, but also bring back some of the ones who left back in late Diablo 2, early Diablo 3, because you gotta go in with the notion of, oh hey, Blizzard and Diablo really kind of missed the mark with only having it as a four-person co-op party. But you can see how they've kind of bounced back with Diablo 4 since their launch, and I've been very, very pleased with the game. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Like, I have been very pleased with the game. And I've been enjoying this current season, Season of the Blood. This is season 2. I am genuinely looking forward to the next season and late 2024. And seeing what they have in store for us, because there's some new features coming out, there's some other things that are happening, and stuff like that. Because with where Diablo is now, I believe it's actually in one of the best spots it could ever be in. Because the voice actors are on the voice actors and actresses are on point. The graphic designers are on point. The artists are on point. The narrative directors are on point. The combats are on point. Everything is just meshing together, and I am beyond pleased with that. Like, I can't fault them. They've also made the quality of life updates. It's like before this season launched, which a lot of us noted beforehand when Season of Malignant Season 1 was at around midpoint towards end. We started noticing these bugs more and more, and they're like, okay, we see this. Here's the update. And they hit one right after the other, right after the other, right after the other, right after the other. For example, one of the things was when you're on your horse and you hit a barrier, like a barricade. You would have to either get off your horse, destroy the barricade, wait for the cooldown, and go through. Now, you can just go through that without any issue. So I feel like Blizzard's doing the right thing with how they're rolling this out. Because if y'all know how live service games go, they have planned content and it's already on a scheduled metric. Now, depending on if certain things happen, they have to push it back, which I don't blame them for it. But as long as they're coordinating and communicating to their community, gamers and players alike, I think they'll be, really, really good with, the direction they're going. But currently, right now, not having any issues with Blizzard or anything like that. On the caveat to that, Bungie. Yeah. They decided to lay off more than 100 of their employees. As to why, I don't fully understand. They owned up, said no, it's us who decided to make the poll on that and lay off their employees. They also laid off some of their key people who were famously known for the composition of their music. God forbid that they laid off several of their key graphic designers and artists, which that also delays the final shape And what is it? Marathon, I think it's called. I'm not touching Marathon because I'm that guy, I'm that type of gamer that likes a story driven game. Which is why I play the games that I play, whether it be Division or Ghost Recon or Current Destiny or Diablo or anything within there. Now, you could argue, oh, well, we see you on Satisfactory. Well, I like to chill out sometimes. Farming Simulator, chill out with that too. Yes, I do have Farming Sim. I've played it. I got a couple hundred hours in there, both Xbox and PC. But it's one of those where I can just chill and relax. Like the strategy games that I play, they have a story with them. They have a story tied into how you play it. With all of that said, and everything that's happened, I'm still baffled as to why Bungie decided to say, "Oh, we're going to do this." And this caught us off guard earlier this week. We were not prepared for this. This week at Bungie, otherwise known as the TWAB, I refuse to call it the TWID. No, it's the TWAB. Never gonna call it the TWID. It's baffling. I have an article from PCGamer.com. Bungie quote: Bungie issues statement to Destiny community following layoffs. We know we have lost a lot of your trust. End quote. You think? Destiny 2 Studio says it's committed to exceeding your expectations with the final ship expansion, but there's still no word of a delay. They've already announced there is a delay. That's getting delayed. Rough shot as to whenever Division Heartland drops. Surprise layouts earlier this week that saw a number of well-loved veteran employees put out of work. Destiny Studio Bungie has released a statement acknowledging that it has lost a lot of your trust, but says it remains intensely focused on exceeding your expectations with upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, The Final Shape. This has been one of the most difficult weeks in our studio's history as we parted ways with people we respect and admire, Bungie wrote. We spent this week supporting one another, including those who are at the studio, as well as friends and colleagues who no longer are. Statement goes on to address the negative sentiment that in the Destiny community, the mood around the game has reached new lows this year, with the game director at one point making an apology video for how communications has been handled. Well, key point in that is if you protected your community managers a little better, some of them wouldn't be walking away. And I'm talking about keeping those who are trying to do their due diligence as community manager and ensuring they're safeguarding for their safety and not basically given the notion, oh, well, we're sorry, we're going to have to let you go because we don't want to deal with this bad PR. You're a multi-billion-dollar company. And yet you're saving face due to just a couple of people that want to do harm. Screw that. If I'm the president, I'm the CEO of that company, and I find out one of my employees or somebody who's a community manager that's getting death threats, that's getting doxxed, it's getting DDoSed, I'm saying, send me what you got. Let's talk to law, and let's go ahead and push for charges. That's me. That's what I'm doing. I don't care about saving face. I don't. Because if I have employees that are being attacked, and as the leader that you say you are, I'm looking out for their well-being. But then again, not everybody actually understands what the terminology of the word leadership entails. You have to do the hard things that you don't want to do as a leader. Simple. Nobody else is going to do it. If you are the person in charge of whatever you're in charge of, you have to make sure you are on top of your game and do the hard things that nobody else is going to want to do. Even if you don't want to do it, you got to suck it up and deal with it. Quite simple. We want to acknowledge the feedback and concerns you have about Lightfall and recent seasons, as well as your responses to the reveal of the final shape. We know we have lost a lot of your trust. Destiny needs to surprise and delight. We haven't done this enough, and that's going to change. But there's no. It goes on to say, and these are tweets from people that just eviscerate them. One person said, "I'm not going to state their usernames on Twitter for their own anonymity, but you can go through and take a look for your own self." Quote: "Is it just me, or was this a soulless PR post?" Additional quote: "Supporting one another." End quote. Includes people finding out they're laid off via email. Includes those shares that go back to the company now. This is one of those less is more situation. Everything you say is going to hurt now. Another person: "We parted ways with people we respect and admire, but apparently not enough to give them a chance to find alternative work. Just dropped them on the curb and said goodbye." Another account: "Wow, what a corporate statement. Thanks for the nothing burger." Another person: "The Twid will return next week with new updates from the Crucible Strike team." Yeah, it never did. They did not announce anything noteworthy of what the TWAB had. On top of this, they went on and basically said, in a nutshell, their biggest excuse was due to their budget. Destiny Bulletin posted one on Halloween. "Bungie, if you had pre-ordered, bought from us more, they wouldn't have lost their jobs." And they had one of the best responses in what their notion was for this. "Maybe if you had listened to your staff who begged you to make the necessary changes instead of telling them you can't ship a product because it's over delivering, this might not have happened." Which is 100% true, because you're shooting for something you can't deliver on, but yet at the same time want to over deliver, overhype, and oversell it to where it's not going to be good. My expectations for Lightfall are low. Very, very low. Pretty simple. They were lower than whenever I first tried Fortnite. Or they're currently, like, my expectations for Lightfall is lower than whenever I tried Fortnite for the first time. That's how low my expectations are for Lightfall. And if it goes beyond, like, if it goes below that, there's no hope for the game. They can say, "Oh, well, we have these chapters coming up. It's gonna be a game I'm just gonna sludge through." But no, it's just one of them things. Um, Also, one thing that I do want to know, as a creator, as a live content creator, a live streamer, is I've been multi-streaming to 5 areas due to, Twitch's change on the TOS for the good. I hope and pray that these changes stay in effect and they do not revert back, because if they revert back, I'm going to tell you right now, I am still going to multi-stream and not care. I will not, because I am seeing people that didn't know where I went. They're coming back to the channel slowly but surely. People are starting to enjoy the changes that Twitch did for the better for the first time in a decade. And who knows? Maybe I go ahead and I give that, give that other area that I'm kind of contemplating another shot. And I see if they're going to DMCA my channel again for in-game music. Talking about YouTube. I hadn't forgotten whenever Wildlands dropped, and we were like, myself and 3 other friends were playing the campaign, and the music inside the car was on, and I got flagged for DMCA, and my channel was almost suspended. That was the last time I ever streamed to YouTube. And if you don't know when Ghost Recon Wildlands came out, Ghost Recon Wildlands came out March 7th, 2017. Okay? Over 6 years ago. Well over 6 years ago. I still have not forgotten about the whenever they said, "Oh, it's been DMCA," I'm like, this is in the game. But who knows? I might. But it's just it's just one of them things like I would have to go through and really, 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 really ensure that things don't go the way that they have in the past. Obviously, I listen to my own playlist whenever I'm live. I would have to reformat that and basically kick the music off of the streams, which I need to do anyways. I listen to music to keep me going and everything else because for the most part, I'll be honest, listening to game music, it'll put me to sleep. No, there's no way about it. Now, whenever I do the charity stream next week on the 11th, I'm gonna have the raid music on for Destiny 2. It's just the way it is because I want as much, what is it? Not impact, integration. No, not integration. I can't think of the word. But we'll just go as much clarity with the raid as it is. It's gonna be myself plus a bunch of other vets, all veteran raid teams. Or as an all veteran raid team going across all 8 raids. One right after the other. That will be starting roughly after the daily reset, noon central, on November 11th. Next week's episode may be delayed. Just keep, it's just how it is because the timing and everything. I don't know. Just might do it on the 10th. Might do it on the 12th. I don't know. Probably the 10th. So keep an eye on that one. One thing I can say is I don't watch the news with what's going on in the world because every outlet gets their teleprompter, and whoever's writing it, they have it scripted by whatever the FCC is going to tell them what to say. What I do is I will actually pull up any article that I see and I will compare it to what everybody else says and see if more than half of it matches across at least 5 or 6 different type of different websites. Because if they all if they match for the most part, then I can say, all right, this is a viable source. If it doesn't, I'm like, all right, this is just biased. Like I know my stance on things. I know who I am. I know where my morals lie. I'm not going to try to convict you to follow everything I believe in because that's just asinine. What I will ask is the respect of who I am as a person, and I will in turn give you that same respect. Like I don't agree with half the crap that the world has going on right now. I don't agree with half the stuff that I see, and that's just my own opinion. Like I just don't agree with it. Will I respect you for it? Oh hell yeah, I will. Like I know people who are who do stuff that I 100% do not agree with. Like those who want to support something that I'm not wanting to support, and they'll come at me and like, oh, how about you donate to the Red Cross? I'm like, no, Oh, why not? Well, when Hurricane Harvey was going on, they didn't want to help. They just wanted money. How would I know? Because I told them to get out of my neighborhood. All they were doing was going door to door asking for money. They did not give a damn about helping people out who were stranded. And that was when we lived in a town close by. That's my personal experience. I to this day won't donate to them. I will support what they do, but I will not donate to them. If people want to donate to them, go ahead. I will not. I will support their mission statement. That's about it. Just like I don't agree with Destiny teaming up with a disaster relief program and trying to write it off as oh, well, here's this item for vets. No, you are doing this for a disaster relief and everything else. They don't have the resources for what veterans go through daily. Like, if we were to take a look at their website and compare it to another website that's actually catered towards veterans, like Wounded Warrior and Stack Up, you will see the complete contrast and differences between the two organizations. One's a disaster relief, and the others are 100% veteran focused. The caveat to that is the organization that's a disaster relief, they are veteran founded and they employ a lot of veterans. That's the caveat. Aside from that, it's about it. I like what they do. Going and being sure that, they can help people out. I don't agree with them not being solely there for vets. They employ vets, don't get me wrong. But they don't have resources for whenever people are getting out of the military. They do not have a 24/7 contact number. They do not have anything for jobs or resume format to go from the military language to the civilian language. And I've actually had to help several veterans do that. They don't have anything for ensuring that you're professionally set for anything of that nature or anything like that. They don't. Pretty simple. Whereas the others, they have all those. Man. And I bring this up because of what's going on in the world. What's going on over in the Middle East and what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine. Bring that up. Do I want people to stop dying? Yes. Will I support either side? No. This is on Russia and Ukraine. I won't support either side because, quite frankly, one's led by a genocidal maniac and the other one's led by somebody who can't keep his nose out of cocaine. Now, with the Middle East, I've already said my sentiment. Go back on episode 11. That'll tell you all you need to know. I'm not going to continue to be a dead. I'm not going to continue to be a dead horse. Say the same things I've already said. Episode 11 is where you need to go. If you don't like it, I don't care. It's how I feel. Especially somebody who's been overseas twice to 2 different countries. I have my stance on things. I'll respect yours so long as it doesn't, so long as you don't try to convince me of something else. But that's about it. Loot Fest is coming up. I'm not going to be getting tickets or badges because they're $70 for an entire weekend for the entire weekend. Not bad, but whenever you factor in 6 people, that's money that I just don't have to spend. Plus, it's also, not understanding if things are going to line up with schedulings and all the other stuff. We got a lot going on as it is over here, anyways. So it's one of them things that that I'm just gonna miss this year. Now, as time goes on, you may or may not see some different changes through the stream. I don't know what the future is going to look like with how the overlays and the other stuff is going to be. I've already reached out to a homie who's an artist. I'm waiting on her response to give me the quotes back. But once everything is done and said and over with, I mentioned this last time. When I rebrand, it will be live. You will see the name change. You will see the logo change. This right here, the Freedom Gamers, will not change. The branding will stay for Freedom Gamers for now. The colors of the logo may change, but for the most part, the design and everything else may not. Unless I can trademark it, then it will. Which that might happen regardless. Certain things that I need to figure out first as to whether or not somebody actually does own the trademark to it. Because I'm not trying to infringe on anybody's, personal rights or anything like that. And go from there. But aside from that, that's generally about it. One thing I will say is if you are getting into this industry within content creation, whether it be short form or long form, whether it be live or recorded format, have the notion of what you want to do first. Focus primarily on that outlet of what you want to do. Do you want to do live content like on Twitch and Kick? Or do you want to do recorded content like on YouTube and Rumble? Because once you figure that out, you go from there and you just slowly progress. In December, I am going to have a series kind of published for people who want to get started. I will be walking people through step by step and not no BS masterclass that you got to sign up for payment on how to get started in the streaming. Because I've been in this industry for almost a decade. It'll be a decade in December. Started on YouTube. Then I went to Twitch. Then I went to Justin TV. Then that got rebranded to Twitch. Then I went to Mixer. Was happy on there for 3 years. I even tried going to Twitter Live and Facebook Live before both were even a notion on live streaming with for gaming. And once Mixer, decided to go poof by way of tweet, went back to Twitch, but also found Trovo. And then I had created my account on D Live. Then I found Glimish and Brime. Both those two sites went under. Now, I stream to Kick, Trovo, Twitch, D Live, and Rumble. And I may put YouTube on there as well. Because right now, I don't know. I'm just enjoying creating content. Whether I have 1 or 100 people watching, I'm just happy. Because I love doing this because it's an outlet for me to be able to express myself in a manner in a live content format. But in December, I will be rolling out a sort of how to get started into streaming, where to progress, what type of integrations you must have for your streams. And I'm going to tell you, there's a couple bots out there I would not use unless it's a last resort. But there's other applications that I would use. I'll be walking through on how to set up the commands, on how to integrate the account with them, on how to get your overlays set up, on how to get your alerts set up, and if you're multi-streaming, how to identify each one. Because within what the current guidelines and the current multi-streaming guidelines on Twitch are, you cannot have any overlay coming up while you're broadcasting to Twitch. However, alerts are different. They did not mention anything on sound alerts. I will be walking through all of that. I will also be going through on sponsorship versus affiliates. like what the core difference is. On top of that, going through and understanding what the entirety of a terms of service is for each platform that I push content to, as well as the community guidelines to the platforms I push content to. I'm going to explain to why you need to read over every single one of these. This is happening later on down in December. When January hits, we are in the rotational phase for every game that I'm going to play. Each day will be a specific game unless notated otherwise. And the reason why I'm saying this now is so that you guys have an understanding. But other than that, that's about it. One last thing that I wanna say is just enjoy what you do. As you're progressing within your journey, as you're progressing within your content, and as you grow larger and larger and larger from 0 followers to 50 followers to 100 followers to 1,000 followers, etc. You are going to develop haters that are not going to like you whatsoever. You are going to find out some of them haters are trying to harass you in the manner to where you stop streaming, to where they're just absolute the bane of existence. And if y'all guys been by the channel, y'all already know who I'm talking about. No need to comment or anything like that, but you already know who I'm on about. It's just one of them things that comes with the territory of live stream. I will also have a couple of videos on what to do to protect yourself as a creator, what sites to access, what numbers to call, and exactly what you as the creator need to do to protect yourself. And also how to go about the correct way on gathering evidence in the event you need to take it further. This way, you have all your bases covered. Because at the end of the day, he said, she said doesn't factor in unless there's actual hard-hitting evidence proof. All of that's going to be coming down in the near future. But again, as I was saying, you're going to develop haters. Ignore the hatred because it's just empty noise. What is that? An empty noise is something that just wants to be heard, but really can't get that point across to where you pay attention. Just ignore it. Because the more time they the more eyes they put on you, the better you're gonna grow. Like the higher you're gonna go, the less they're gonna be able to accomplish on their goal and go from there. Because they're gonna understand what I already know to be true. You can't be stopped if you've already started. That's about it. But things are gonna change with within my area once I find out the answers that I need to know, as well as understanding on what the new intro is gonna be, like the montages that I'm gonna create for game specific intros and things like that. There's several other things that I want to take care of, and it's just all in due time. But again, it's just in time. This one wasn't too long. There was just only a couple topics that I wanted to cover. This wasn't done in live setting. This was recorded. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. If you want to follow on Rumble, hit that little follow button. Subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, I'd greatly appreciate that. Subscribe as well. If you want to catch me live throughout the week, all information will be in the description below. I will also be linking the Diablo article and the video in the description below. This way you guys can, if you're a fan of Diablo, not Blizzard, I don't care about the umbrella company. Thank God they got bought up by Microsoft. If you're a fan of the franchise Diablo as much as I am, you'll understand why. Until then, I will catch y'all later, and let nobody stop you. Later.